Nighttime rolled around. While making dinner, I unlocked my phone to check the surveillance camera again. Just like what I saw this morning, it was broken. Could Zane have done this on purpose? I finished preparing dinner and brought the plates to the dining hall. Zane had just returned holding a cake in his hands. However, he was acting suspiciously. He hid the cake in the storage room so that I wouldn't see it. I glanced over and still managed to catch a glimpse of the exquisite mousse cake. I was taken aback. It wasn't his birthday today, nor was it mine. What was he up to? Since he didn't say a word to me, I naturally didn't ask either. During dinner, we still barely spoke to each other. He was like a customer who'd walked into a restaurant and I was the waitress. Around bedtime, it was about time that I changed the bandages on my right hand. I carefully unwrapped it. After applying some anti-inflammatory ointment, I rewrapped it in gauze. Meanwhile, Zane lay next to me, turning a blind eye.
Oh, right. Have you given it some thought, Chloe?
Zane suddenly asked. I was stunned. Given what some thought?
The divorce. Have you given it some thought?
He asked again. I laughed coldly. Just what were this bastard's intentions? Did he marry me just to scam me out of a house? What do you think? Do you want to get divorced? I asked him back. Zane said nothing. If you think that being with me is meaningless, then you can file for divorce, I said magnanimously. I won't hold you back from your happiness. Zane's face fell. He flipped over suddenly so that his back was facing me.
Well, let's go to sleep.
You asked me to give you time for your psychological disorder to improve and our relationship will get better. What do you say? I said pointedly.
Let's see.
He said, growing impatient.
I'm tired. Let's go to bed.
After I was done cleaning up, I turned the lights off and got some rest. Even though we were a couple, we clearly had different goals. It was unbearably torturous to live life like this. But at this point in time, I had no choice but to endure it. Before I knew it, I fell asleep. Perhaps I'd been conditioned. Or maybe it was my subconscious at work. But I woke up in the middle of the night. Beneath the moonlight, the room wasn't as illuminated as it was during the day, but I could still see clearly. When I turned my head, I saw that Zane wasn't here. He must have gone to the basement to work out. This time, I wanted to see with my own eyes what kind of workout he was doing. When I sat up, I heard a rattling noise as my left hand was pulled down. I tugged harder, only to find a silver handcuff around my wrist. The handcuff was connected to a chain that was firmly tied to the leg of the bed frame. I pulled even harder until my wrist began to burn with pain, but I couldn't budge. This is going too far. At that moment, I wanted to kill him. Just so he could go to the basement to do some shameful thing. He'd actually chain me up like I was a victim of human trafficking. He wasn't even treating me like a proper human being. At that moment, I heard footsteps outside. Zane had returned. I swiftly lay back down and pretended to be sound asleep. I was a woman. If I fought him head-on right now, I would lose. Therefore, I'd rather fight fire with fire using my wits. Not long after, Zane snuck over and carefully sat down. He gently picked up my left hand and unlocked the handcuff. Then, he unlocked the other end of the chain and put it away. Throughout the entire process, the chain didn't make any loud noises. After that was done, he carefully lay back down. Then, as if testing me, he used his phone to tap my shoulder. I remained unmoving, like I was still asleep. He let out a sigh before finally laying down, relieved. Once again, I caught a whiff of shampoo and the smell of cake. Not just that, but there was another indescribable smell mixed with the two scents. Had Zane brought the cake down to the basement? Was he eating cake while exercising? Or was there something hiding in the basement? I couldn't figure it out. Not long after, he began snoring lightly. Meanwhile, I couldn't fall asleep. I could only stare into the distance with my eyes open. When the sun rose, I looked into the mirror to find dark circles around my eyes. I wasn't beautiful, but I was still vain. Seeing the dark circles, I felt even more upset. I urged myself that I had to put an end to this as quickly as possible. If this went on, I wouldn't be able to endure the mental torment any longer. After breakfast, I purposely peeked into the garbage can in the living room. There was a cake box inside, and it was clearly the same cake that Zane had brought home last night. In that case, who had eaten the cake? Could there be a person hiding in the basement? My heart sank. Was Zane hiding a woman in the house? Could he be keeping a trafficked female college student down there?
What happens next is revealed on Good Novel. Search the book title Skeletons in His Closet or the book code 88065 in the app to start reading. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for more snippets into other best-selling stories.